everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video I thought I would show you guys how to make a snuffle mat for your pets. And you can either make this for dogs or you can even make this for rats too. But basically what a snuffle mat is it's a mat that you make out of fleece, and then you can hide treats in there, and then your pets have to kind of forage to find them. And my dogs absolutely love it, so I'm going to make them a second one so I don't have to share. But how I made it is I took a sink liner, a plastic sink liner, and you can actually even use like a rubber mat if you want to, but I just like the sink liner just since it was a little bit easier to wash in the washing machine than a thick mat. But I will go ahead and show you how I've made this. But what you can do is you can just go ahead and hide treats right on in there, and then they have to dig for them and kind of find them. But they absolutely love it, and even for rats too, it would be kind of a fun toy for them to have out during playtime if you hide some treats in there and then they have to go and find them. But it definitely is good for mental stimulation of dogs too, because they have to use their scent to find the treats. But yeah, I will go ahead and show you guys how I made this, and it's actually super easy, a little time consuming, but actually it was kind of fun to make, so I'll go ahead and show you guys how I made this. And if you guys would like to make a snuffle mat, what you'll need is a plastic or rubber sink liner, and I got my sink liner from Walmart, and it was about $7. They have a couple different designs that you can choose from. The design that I have is measuring from the little knots here. It is 12 by 12, and then you're going to want some fleece, and I actually just got this at Walmart. It was a fleece blanket, and I just cut that to size. For my 12 by 12 snuffle mat that I've made right over there, I used about 2 yards of fleece for that. Or for blanket wise, if you buy blankets, I used about 1.5 blankets for making that. But what I went ahead and did is I already cut up all my fleece, but just to kind of show you guys, for my fleece I cut about 1.5 inches wide by about 8 inches long. You can cut it as thin or as thick and as long as you'd like, or as short as you like. Kind of depends on how thick you want to make yours. To kind of give you a little bit of a closer view of theirs, mine is a little bit shorter. I kind of wish I would have did it a little bit longer, but they really like it, and I think for their shorter noses it kind of worked better that way. But maybe if you have a dog with a little bit of a longer nose, you can always make it a little bit longer. And a tip that I have when cutting the fleece is I cut my fleece into like a really long strip. And what I did is I took a fleece that I had pre-measured, and then I just kind of lined it up to the long strip, and I just kind of rolled it around the strip. And I keep doing that until I reach the end. It's just so much faster at cutting fleece this way. So I have that kind of a big bunch here now. And then what I did is I just went ahead and cut the fleece this way. And then I just did the same on the other side too. And then you have your fleece already kind of cut like that. So that's just kind of a quick tip that I have if you want to cut your fleece faster. And then you can really do any pattern that you want, or if you have multiple colored fleeces. The fleece that I picked was a plaid one, so I'm just going to kind of alternate between the colors, and that's what I did to get the pattern on that snuffle mat. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I started making it. Hey Toby. So what you'll want to do is you'll just want to take your fleece and then basically just kind of weave it in the holes here. And you can either double knot it or just a single knot. Because I'm washing mine in the machine, I thought double knot would be a little bit more secure. So you can just go ahead and knot it. And then what you'll want to do next is, rather than stringing it through these two holes, go in this hole again. And by doing this, it's going to give you more of a fuller effect with the Snuffle Mat. And then you'll just want to go ahead like that. And then just go ahead and knot it. And then again on this one, you're going to go in that second hole again, and then the next one. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish doing this row, and then once I get to the second row, I'll show you guys how I did that. Toby. All right. Yes, no bark. No bark. No bark. All right. Toby is a little concerned about the tripod. Now that we went ahead and finished the first row, we can go ahead and move on to the second row. And this is what the back looks like. So we went through the hole, or one hole, twice. And I'm just going to kind of show you guys what the back of this looks like. So in the back, it kind of has like a grid formation. So we went across, and now we're going to go ahead and go down the very first row, connecting to the next row. So I'll show you guys how I did that. So I'm just going to take my fleece, and sometimes working through the back is a little bit easier, so you make sure you don't miss any holes. But you're just going to go ahead and feed that through. And you can go ahead and tie a knot. And I'm going to do the same on the other holes. Sorry for my dogs. They just ate dinner, so this is kind of their crazy hour. All right. So, like I said, working through the back is sometimes a little bit easier to see. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and feed it through, and then I'm going to come right up in between these two, and then feed it through that way. Sometimes when I was making this mat, I made some a little bit thicker, and when you get to this point where you kind of feed them through the other holes, it's a little bit harder. So if you can stay like under 2 inches when you're making or cutting the width, I would definitely recommend that, just since it can be a little bit hard. But I'm going to go ahead and tie that, but I'll just show you guys that one more time. So I'm just going to go ahead and feed this one through, and then in between these two. And I'm going to finish that row, and I'll go ahead and show you guys the next row. This is what you guys hear in the background, so sorry for that, but they're having a lot of fun. Alright, now that I am done with that second row, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the third row. So this is kind of what it looks like so far. Jeez. Oh. So I'm just going to go ahead and feed my fleece through. And again, working from the back is definitely a lot easier, I think. So I'm just going to go ahead and feed that through. And then you can either knot it, or you can just wait till the end of the row to knot it. But I just have that in. And just like the row up above, I'm going to go ahead and get the next one in. But I'm just going to go ahead and feed it through this hole again. And then we can move on to the next one. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue this and completely finish this, and I'll go ahead and show you guys once I'm done. But that's kind of what it looks like so far. And then I'm just going to show you guys the backing of this one. So we are on our third row, so this is kind of where we are at right now. But once we're done with the third row, we're going to go ahead and do the same feeding downward and then going across, and then feeding downward and going across. It is kind of time consuming to do. Definitely kind of fun when you're watching TV. It's kind of an easy way to finish that up, but definitely makes kind of a cool thing. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that up, and I'll show you guys once I'm done. And these little two, I had all my fleece piled very nicely, and they helped out with that. This is the result of rain all day, not playing outside. Alright, well, I'll go ahead and show you guys once I'm done with this. Alright, now that I have my second snuffle mat made, I wanted to show you guys them. It took me about 4 hours to fully make, and that's not including like the cutting up the fleece. So it did take a little bit of time to do, but the boys absolutely love them. It definitely keeps them busy looking for treats or food that you put in there. And this would actually be a great thing to make not only for dogs, but any small animals that you have. You can probably even do cats too. Just something to keep them busy. But they definitely like it. One thing I kind of wish that I would have done is made these a little bit longer, just since I did double knot them. But the boys don't seem to mind at all. They really like it. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions about how I made these, definitely comment below. Thanks for watching, guys.